Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Steffy demands that Deputy Chief Baker return Luna to prison. According to previews for The Bold and the Beautiful, Steffy Forrester will summon Deputy Chief Bradley Baker to return Luna Nozawa to prison. Let's discuss Steffy's strategy and all of the drama that will unfold on BNB. Steffy hurried over to Bill Spencer's estate and confronted Luna after John Finnegan told her that Luna was under house arrest there. Bill was terrified of this, and it's clear that Steffy wants Luna back in jail as soon as possible. When Luna brought up Finn's visit, Bill was already alarmed because he thought the doctor would spread the word and cause trouble. Bill became concerned that Luna would end up behind bars once more, even though it is the last thing she wants to happen. Bill did, however, pull a lot of strings to get this house arrest arrangement. By just complaining to Deputy Chief Baker, will Steffy be able to reverse the situation? Baker does not have the power to overrule the judge's decisions, even though he could concur with Steffy that Luna should receive a harsher punishment. Luna has never left the property, so it's not like she's broken the conditions of her house imprisonment. That will be demonstrated by Luna's ankle monitor, so how can Steffy possibly put her back in the slammer? In the end, Baker might acknowledge that he is powerless, which would make Steffy even angrier. Naturally, Steffy can try to convince the judge to overturn the home arrest ruling by threatening to cause a public uproar. Compared to simply phoning Baker and expecting him to pull Luna out in handcuffs, that kind of thing might require a little more time and work. Additionally, there is proof that Luna was attacked while incarcerated and singled out by other prisoners. Bill has argued rather persuasively that this is the safest setting for Luna, so that should also play a role. In any case, if Deputy Chief Baker is unable to fulfill Steffy's demands, she might feel let down and even more angry. Steffy might be left unsure of what to do if Baker declines to take Luna back to a prison cell. According to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Steffy and Luna will face off again soon. Stay tuned for more predictions about the chaos and updates on any upcoming surprises. Lee assaults Poppy, Steffy persuades Baker to take Luna and Carter to jail, and Ridge and Eric give him an ultimatum. What happens when Finn tells Steffy and Luna that Luna is his daughter? Since Finn is Finn, we would expect him to want to get in touch, but Steffy would never approve of him dating the woman who kidnapped and nearly killed her. Is it possible for Steffy to get Baker to return Luna to prison? In a dramatic and tumultuous turn of events that has rocked the very foundations of Forrester Creations and sent shockwaves throughout its inner circles, the latest episode unfolds like a maelstrom of betrayal, revenge, and desperate power plays, as two seemingly disparate yet inexorably intertwined storylines collide with earth-shattering consequences. First, Lee, whose arrival had been marked by an undercurrent of simmering resentment and a hunger for retribution, unleashes a vicious, unanticipated assault on Poppy, a move that not only exposes long-hidden animosities and fragile alliances but also sets off a chain reaction of suspicion and chaos within the once sterling corridors of the family empire, and then, in an equally staggering twist that blurs the lines between personal vendetta and corporate strategy, Steffy, ever the relentless guardian of both her own legacy and the Forrester name, convinces Baker, a trusted yet enigmatic operative known for his unyielding efficiency and discretion, to apprehend Luna and bring her to prison, an act that underscores the severity of the breaches in loyalty and trust that have been festering behind closed doors for far too long. As the episode begins, the tension is palpable in every hushed whisper and furtive glance exchanged in the opulent boardrooms and shadowed corridors of Forrester Creations, where Lee, a character whose motivations have remained shrouded in mystery until now, finally makes her move by attacking Poppy, a figure who has long been a symbol of stability and calculated diplomacy within the organization, using a combination of physical aggression and scathing verbal assaults that reveal not only her deep-seated grievances but also the extent to which she is willing to go to settle scores that have been brewing for years, and in doing so, Lee forces everyone in her wake to confront the fact that beneath the polished exterior of power and wealth lies a seething undercurrent of unresolved conflicts and personal vendettas that can erupt at any moment. Lee's attack is not random but rather the culmination of a carefully orchestrated plan that has been in the making for months, as she methodically gathered evidence of Poppy's alleged complicity in various corporate misdeeds and personal betrayals that have, over time, eroded the trust of those who once admired her. And when the moment arrives, Lee launches her assault with a ferocity that leaves Poppy reeling, her usually unflappable composure shattered by the sudden, violent onslaught of accusations and physical blows that serve as a brutal public denouncement of everything she once stood for. The chaos ensuing from Lee's attack ripples through the halls of Forrester Creations, sending shockwaves through the upper echelons of power as colleagues, allies, and adversaries alike scramble to understand the true motivations behind the act, with whispers of retribution and long-standing rivalries now resurfacing as every participant is forced to re-evaluate their loyalties and question whether the delicate balance of power is on the verge of collapse, all while Lee's words, sharp, accusatory, and laden with personal venom, echo in the minds of those present, painting a picture of a woman driven by a desperate need for justice, or perhaps revenge, that has been denied for far too long. And as the dust begins to settle on this explosive confrontation, the narrative swiftly pivots to an equally dramatic subplot involving Steffy, whose own battle for control and validation has been a defining element of her character, and whose recent decision to take matters into her own hands marks a turning point that could irreversibly alter the course of her relationships and the legacy of the Forrester dynasty, in a calculated move that seems to have been born out of both personal desperation and strategic foresight. Steffy enlists the aid of Baker, a figure whose reputation for unflinching loyalty and operational precision has made him a linchpin in the intricate web of corporate intrigue, to carry out a mission that is as controversial as it is decisive, to bring Luna, a young woman whose identity and allegiances have long been the subject of speculation and whose recent actions have raised serious questions about her reliability and commitment to the family's values, to prison, thereby sending a stark, unambiguous message that transgressions, whether personal or professional, will no longer be tolerated in the hallowed halls of Forrester Creations. Steffy's decision to have Luna incarcerated is not one made lightly. Indeed, it represents the culmination of mounting frustrations and the painful realization that Luna's behavior, whether it be acts of defiance, betrayal, or reckless ambition, has reached a tipping point where the consequences of her actions extend far beyond mere personal affronts, threatening instead to undermine the very integrity and reputation of the family empire that Steffy has fought so hard to preserve. As Baker, whose presence on the scene is marked by a cool, unwavering determination, executes this order with a blend of ruthlessness and careful precision, the atmosphere is charged with a mix of vindication and apprehension, as those witnessing the unfolding drama are forced to grapple with the duality of justice and cruelty, a duality that lies at the heart of every power struggle in a world where loyalty is the most precious currency and betrayal the deadliest weapon. In the aftermath of these twin cataclysmic events, the narrative of the episode is set ablaze with a series of interlocking consequences that weave together the fates of Lee, Poppy, Steffy, Luna, Baker, and the countless others whose lives are inextricably bound to the destiny of Forrester Creations. The raw, unfiltered intensity of Lee's attack on Poppy, marked by its visceral display of pent-up anger and its unapologetic assault on the established order, serves as both a catalyst for change and a warning that the era of unchecked power and unspoken grievances is drawing to a close, while Steffy's subsequent decision to have Luna apprehended by Baker sends a chilling signal that the line between personal betrayal and corporate treachery is not only blurred but is now being actively policed by those determined to restore order, even if that order must be imposed through draconian measures that risk fracturing family ties forever. As the episode unfolds in a relentless barrage of revelations, confrontations, and heart-stopping moments, every character is forced to confront the painful reality that the legacy of Forrester Creations is built not on the glittering promises of wealth and power alone but on the fragile, often volatile bonds of trust, loyalty, and familial obligation that can be shattered in an instant by a single act of defiance or a whispered secret. The emotional fallout from Lee's brutal attack and Steffy's uncompromising enforcement of discipline reverberates through boardrooms, private residences, and even the most intimate gatherings of the family, as allies and adversaries alike scramble to reassess their positions and recalibrate their strategies in a landscape that has been irrevocably altered by the events of this fateful episode. In the midst of this chaos, questions arise that are as profound as they are unsettling. What long-hidden grievances has Lee been nursing that drove her to such extremes? And what does her act of violence portend for the future of the relationships she has so recklessly upended? Will Poppy's decline from favor serve as a warning to those who dare to violate the unwritten standards of allegiance within the Forrester family, or will she be able to bounce back sufficiently from the attack on her body and reputation to regain her place in the power structure? Perhaps most importantly, what are the long-term effects of Steffy's choice to send Luna to prison? Although this choice was made to maintain the integrity of the family's legacy, it may also have sown the seeds of irreversible animosity and strife that could eventually cause a rift within the Forrester empire itself. As the final moments of the episode fade into an uneasy silence punctuated by the distant hum of hushed conversations and the slow, heavy footsteps of those navigating a world now forever changed by the collision of personal vendettas and the ruthless imperatives of corporate survival, it becomes clear that the events of this day will resonate far beyond the immediate crisis, setting the stage for a protracted power struggle marked by shifting alliances, emerging rivalries, and the relentless pursuit of redemption in a world where every act of defiance, every unyielding assertion of independence, and every brutal measure of retribution is a double-edged sword that cuts both ways. Ultimately, the saga of Lee's savage assault on Poppy and Steffy's calculated order to have Luna apprehended by Baker stands as a stark, uncompromising reminder that in the unforgiving realm of Forrester creations, where every secret is a potential spark for revolution and every act of betrayal carries the weight of legacy, the line between justice and cruelty is perilously thin, and that the choices made in the heat of passion and desperation can irrevocably alter the course of lives, leaving behind scars that, while a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, serve as indelible marks on the hearts of those who dare to challenge the status quo, even as they strive, against all odds, to rebuild trust and forge a future where the price of ambition is measured not in the currency of wealth, but in the enduring strength of love, loyalty, and the unyielding pursuit of truth. Eric's optimism, Bill's defense, and Lee's chokehold. According to spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, a teaser clip for the week of March 10, 2025, has been made public. It depicts Penelope Poppy Nozawa being attacked by Lee Finnegan. Bill Spencer gives Steffy Forrester Finnegan an explanation for his choice. The old Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, can still be contacted, according to Eric Forrester. Let's discuss the upcoming events in the CBS soap opera as you continue reading. I hope Logan's romance is uncertain. Fans should anticipate that Brooke Logan will interrogate her daughter during the week of March 10. I hope Logan is questioned about Carter's current situation. Hope cocks her head to one side in the promo video and doesn't respond right away. It appears that Hope may not be quite certain about the current state of affairs with Carter. This optimism of Eric Forrester. Fans can also anticipate that Eric will express optimism on the takeover for the first time next week. There is some hope as Ridge Forrester and Eric Forrester stand outside the door of a Forrester Creations office. Eric points to the closed door and informs his son that the old Carter is still inside. Carter does appear to be on the verge of collapsing. The overpowering guilt is too much for Carter to handle any longer. But Carter's commitment to Hope may also be interfering with his typical actions. In fact, Carter expresses regret that things has come to this to an unidentified individual in the preview footage. This is either Daphne Rose, Muriel Hilaire, or Hope. According to the remaining week spoilers, Carter makes a choice that astounds both women. Steffy Forrester Finnegan vs. Bill Spencer. Steffy continues her double confrontation, according to next week's spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. When Steffy blows up, Bill is standing next to Luna Nozawa. Bill can't be serious, Steffy says. But Bill takes this very seriously. The co-CEO then yells that the madman attempted to murder her. Finnegan's chokehold on Lee. Additionally, fans will witness Lee discover the truth about Luna's biological father. At that point, Lee confronts Poppy angrily. Lee exclaims that Poppy pursued her son. Lee quickly catches Poppy by the throat, pinning her to the wall with a strong grip. Poppy appears quite frightened, and Lee has stopped playing. Will Poppy be miraculously saved, or will Lee choke her sister to death? Steffy storms into a heated argument that leaves no room for compromise in a high-stakes scenario that perfectly captures the vicious interplay of corporate intrigue and personal grudges at Forrester Creations. She issues an ultimatum so harsh it echoes throughout the Forrester legacy: Luna will never again see Finn. As Steffy confronts Luna, who up until this point has lived in a world of conflicting loyalties and unfulfilled promises, about the irreparable harm caused by Finn's repeated betrayals and the cascading consequences of his questionable choices, this dramatic scene plays out with her signature blend of ferocity, vulnerability, and steely determination. As Steffy, her eyes blazing with righteous rage and heartbreak, describes how Finn's self-centered actions have not only damaged their once shared trust and love but also jeopardized the future of the Forrester Empire, a future she has battled valiantly to shield from the destructive effects of deceit, the atmosphere is charged with raw emotion. With each sentence, Steffy compels Luna to face the harsh reality: Finn's actions have crossed a boundary that cannot be undone in a society where legacy, power, and individual ambition all intersect. She describes in graphic detail how Finn's covert behavior, which was initially dismissed as small transgressions, progressively worsened into a pattern of treachery so severe that it now jeopardizes the foundation of their relationships. In her tirade, Steffy emphasizes not only the psychological toll of Finn's behavior but also its practical consequences, showing how his actions have left Luna stranded in a maze of bewilderment and loneliness, torn between the alluring promises of luxury and the heartbreaking truth of desertion. With a voice that trembles with both anger and grief, she warns Luna that the man who once promised a future of mutual respect and shared dreams has now chosen a path that distances him from those who truly care about him. If Luna keeps letting herself be pulled into his orbit, she runs the risk of falling victim to the same cycle of heartbreak that has already destroyed so many people in their immediate vicinity. Steffy's words are more than just a rebuke, they are a last-ditch effort for Luna to see that beneath Finn's dazzling exterior lies a deep-seated incapacity to commit, an unwillingness to face his previous transgressions that have now turned toxic for all parties. Every motion she makes and every word she chooses as she stands in front of Luna is tinged with the agonizing past of betrayals and lost chances, moments when Finn's actions left scars too deep to mend and when Luna's own hopes were crushed by the harsh reality of his disregard. Years of brewing tensions have culminated in this confrontation, the whispered rumors in the dimly lit hallways of Forrester Creations, the whispered discussions at private parties where the elite discuss the shifting allegiances of their own making, and the private moments when Luna, alone with her thoughts, dared to believe that love and redemption were still possible. Now that Steffy's demand is reverberating in the tense quiet, Luna is forced to face the sharp contrast between the harsh, unforgiving reality of Finn's unreliability and the promise of a caring partnership. Steffy's intervention is a daring statement that, in the harsh world of high fashion and corporate power struggles, personal feelings must occasionally be sacrificed at the altar of integrity and self-respect. It is as much about defending Luna as it is about establishing her own authority. She clarifies that each minute spent holding on to Finn's hollow promises simply serves to exacerbate the hurts of betrayal, not only for Luna but also for the entire Forrester family, whose future is intrinsically linked to its members' capacity to uphold moral values rather than selfish desires. Steffy warns that if Luna does not break off her relationship with Finn, she will be complicit in the further deterioration of trust that has already rocked their world, where every secret, every half-truth, and every act of self-interest has the potential to set off a chain reaction of scandal and heartache. Her harsh tone is tempered by the raw pain of someone who has sacrificed everything for her family's honor. Steffy's voice rises and falls in a cadence that reflects the intensity of her convictions and the grief of her own losses as she exposes the consequences of Finn's actions, the broken promises, the lives upended, and the legacy tarnished by his refusal to change. The intensity of the moment is equal to the gravity of her words. Her demand is unambiguous and uncompromising: Luna must escape the destructive cycle of Finn's influence or else she runs the risk of losing both her opportunity for true happiness and her relationship with a guy who has repeatedly shown that his love is as ephemeral as his promises. As the tension builds, the scenario becomes a microcosm of the larger conflicts that have shaped the bold and the beautiful story, in which the conflicting forces of ambition, treachery, and the relentless quest for atonement test every relationship. Steffy's words act as a wake-up call for Luna, telling her to take back control of her life and to understand that genuine strength comes from separating from people who would lead her down a path of broken promises and unending misery. Every character in the room is plagued by the lingering shadows of past betrayals, which further complicates the emotional landscape and fosters an environment where trust is hard to come by and love is valued only in terms of sacrifice and loss. Steffy's intervention becomes not only a personal catharsis in this furnace of unfiltered emotion, but also a turning point that has the potential to reshape the Forrester dynasty's future by upending long-held notions about love, loyalty, and the price of pursuing a legacy based on both ambition and vulnerability. Luna is forced to confront the possibility that the love she once believed in may be nothing more than a mirage that has led her down a path of emotional ruin, where the promise of a happy ending is continually undermined by the harsh realities of human frailty. This realization comes as she listens to Steffy's passionate words, each syllable serving as a reminder of the painful realities that have plagued her for years. The setting of the lavish but harsh world of Forrester Creations, where every choice, every private discussion, and every public expression of emotion is amplified against the unrelenting scrutiny and the high standards of a legacy painstakingly crafted over decades, makes the confrontation all the more poignant. In this universe, Steffy's audacious act of storming in and giving an ultimatum is not merely an emotional outburst, rather, it is a calculated move meant to safeguard not only Luna's future but also the honor and prestige of the family she has long worked to uphold. Her statement serves as a sobering reminder that in a world where ambition frequently triumphs over devotion, having the guts to say enough can mean the difference between a legacy being preserved and it being destroyed. Luna is left to consider the full cost of her continued association with Finn, a man whose erratic love and endless inconstancy have become the very definition of betrayal in a world that prioritizes consistency and trust above all else. As the moment drags on, laden with the heavy silence of realization and the crackle of unspoken promises, the air seems to shimmer with the possibility of a turning point in the lengthy, breathless pause that follows Steffy's ultimatum. The choices Luna makes after this confrontation could potentially rewrite her future, one in which the painful scars of the past may be healed by the strength to walk away and rebuild a life free from the damaging effects of broken promises. But even as the ramifications of Steffy's remarks descend upon the room like a heavy mist, there is still a nagging doubt, a silent query that haunts every heartbeat. Will Luna have the strength to escape Finn's poisonous circle, or will the attraction of his charm, no matter how faulty, keep her trapped in a never-ending cycle of regret and heartache? As the scene fades into a heavy quiet broken only by the distant echoes of whispered counsel and the unsolved tension of a promise that may never be fulfilled, the answer, encased in layers of emotional complexity and the harsh reality of life at Forrester, hangs in the balance. In the end, Steffy's intervention, a moment of unvarnished truth delivered with the precision of someone who has witnessed too much betrayal and is determined to protect those who still have a chance at redemption, stands as a pivotal moment in the ongoing story of love, power, and legacy at Forrester Creations. It forces each character to face the ultimate question: is the price of loyalty and the promise of love worth the intolerable cost of unending compromise, or is the only way to true freedom one of severance and renewal, where the bravery to say never again becomes the first step toward reclaiming one's destiny in a world where every whispered secret and every broken promise can change the course of a legacy built on both the triumphs and the tragedies of the human heart?